Hi Libra, it's Denise with Divine Soul Astrology, and today I'm here to discuss the Libra full moon, which is really your full moon happening on April 1st. It's at 7:12 p.m. here on the West Coast, so please check for your own time. So the moon will be at 13 degrees of Libra, and the sun is opposing the moon every time we have a full moon. So the sun will be at 12 degrees of Aries. So when we have the sun and the moon, it is always with a full moon. It is always asking us to merge both energies, right? That's really what it's the best of what's going on with Libra and the best of what's going on with Aries or those signs or the houses rather as well, right? So Libra for you, the full moon is in your first house of self, right? And so yes, the full moon is always asking us to merge these energies to make the best possible circumstances. And really, the moon is the divine feminine and the sun is the divine masculine. And we need both. We need our intuition with the moon. We need our feminine side. All of us, right? It is rules our emotional security as well. And then the sun will, it represents our sense of self, sometimes what we want to create in the world and self-expression, think the ego. Yeah. So, but we need both. We definitely do. All right. So, at the time of the full moon, Libra, we have the energy in Pisces and Aries. So, Aries is your opposite sign, and the energy in Aries is I'm going to do this or I want to do this, right? It's very it is about the self and what you can do for yourself in this lifetime. So Pisces wants us to believe in our visions and our dreams, and the sun has already moved into Aries. So this is like, yeah, I need to do this, right? So Aries wants us to have the courage. So there's always something going on when we have a full moon with the Aries energy, right? With the sun over there. And the sun also will conjoin Chiron in Aries. And so Aries is your seventh house of relationships. And there will, the sun will be in Aries and Chiron as well. So with that, we have a healing or something that can be overcome, possibly related to your relationships, right? Healed or overcome. Chiron is about us healing or overcoming something. But, most of the time this is psychological through reflection. Yeah, it is. So, especially if we are overcoming something psychological, right? It starts in the mind, right? So that's kind of Chiron. And so, so something can kind of heal there. We also have Mars, the ruler of Aries and Scorpio, because the sun, Mars is the ruler of the sun while the sun is in Aries. Yeah, and we were talking about that, trusting your dreams and things like that, and having the courage. But Mars will be conjoined with Mercury. Mercury rules our thinking. So Mercury wants us to understand what we need to do to move forward, right? Yeah, it wants us to analyze. And the ruler of the full moon, which is really important here, is Venus. And Venus will be at 2 degrees of Taurus. So Venus is your ruler and also Taurus's ruler. So we can have Taurus aspects here, right? Which is about finance, self-worth, and possessions, and well-being as well-being in terms of material comfort. That is Venus. It is about our money because of that. So but we have Venus, and it is at 2 degrees, and that is, conjoining Chiron. So there's, as I said. So, yeah, so it's going to be very interesting. And let's look at your personal horoscope here, right? So, as I said, this is your full moon, but the moon will be at 13 degrees, and this can encourage embracing simple pleasures in life. Yeah, the sun is in your seventh house of partnerships. This is your house, really, but it's in Aries, right? Uh, and relating, and that's what that, partnerships or relationships and relating. And it doesn't have to be personal, it can be any type of partnership, work, professional, personal, romantic, whatever. And that house is also where the sun sits. This is how we communicate or how we relate to others in relationships, right? The sun moon, yeah, the sun moon opposition, as I mentioned, will bring up themes of personal needs and self-identity versus relationships or how you show up in them or managing them. It can also, you know, you may want to create balance or harmony in your life or peace even. Um, and Mars, the ruler of the sun, will motivate you to create a healthy daily environment for yourself. Yeah, interesting here. The ruler of the sun will motivate you to create a healthy daily environment at home or at work. So Venus, your natal Venus is uh, your natal ruler. As I said, it's also in Taurus. So this will support, Venus is supporting you, Libra, because it's a benefic. It supports everybody, really. But the fact that it is in Taurus, and, Venus is your ruler is very beautiful. So this is supporting your finances, potentially joint finances, can also be intimate relationships. Yeah, Venus is in your eighth house. Also, this is it can also be about regeneration and transformation. You could be changing something, and the full moon will help you maybe change something profoundly or maybe end something. Transformation can be an ending as well. But Venus in your eighth can show you hidden aspects about yourself, about how you show up in relationships, your attitude with money, possibly, how you create beauty or, harmony and balance in your life, and anything that relates to your eighth house. And also, Libra, we have, Mercury with, I think I talked about this already with Mars, and so which will kind of encourage you to act. It really will about whatever your plans and goals, whatever you're analyzing, whatever you're thinking about, whatever's on your mind. That will encourage you to do that. And that will be in your house of service and work, health and wellness, and your daily habits. I was talking a little bit about that earlier. This is your lifestyle or, how you manage your daily life as well. Maybe there's something going on with that work, or just schedules sometimes, right? Maybe your habits need to change, or it doesn't always have to be habits. It can be like routines. Your routines are right are changing, or to better streamline them. So the sixth house wants us to, it wants us it really what it wants for us. It's ruled by Virgo in the natural chart. The sixth house. It wants us to just, kind of be on top of our daily life, right? And yeah, it does. Okay. So here we have the moon, and that will square Jupiter in Cancer in your 10th house of career. So the full moon in your sign is putting pressure on Jupiter in your house of career. So Jupiter is about growth and expansion. There could be some kind of pressure for you maybe to grow or expand, maybe take an opportunity, right? Maybe you feel like you need to kind of take one. Jupiter does represent our blessings, our opportunities. It also learning, the ninth house of purpose and wisdom, yeah, for sure. And that's what Jupiter wants for us, though. It wants us to move, act with wisdom and grow and expand and things like that. So, the moon will be squaring Jupiter in Cancer. Your role as a mother or a nurturer is possibly maybe a little bit challenging, possibly. And the 10th house is our social role. So even if you're not working, it's about our role. You're a grandmother taking care of your grandkids, excuse me, or it can be work, the role as well, but it doesn't always have to be, could be a role in your life that feels like you need to create some balance or harmony for yourself. um Maybe you feel like you have too much responsibility. That is the house there, and although you can find purpose in it there with the square, sometimes it can give us something good, but there's a little challenge to it as well. But it can, after we typically take action or feel kind of, compelled to do that. But um, Jupiter in your 10th house can bring career opportunities. Could also make you kind of force you to grow in some area of your life. That's what Jupiter does to all of us. If it sees that we're not expanding in some area of our life, boom, Jupiter will come in. It's not usually as bad as Uranus with the tower, but it really wants us to grow and expand and to live with higher purpose, move into our purpose. Yeah. And so Venus is protecting you though, Libra. It is because it's in Taurus, right? Yes, it is. Let me see where Venus sits. I think in terms of your sign. Yeah, I did talk about that. It's in your eighth house of transformation and money and intimate relationships. And it's a very psychological house, and Venus is there supporting you. All right. So thank you so much for joining me here, Libra. If you've enjoyed this content, please like, share, and subscribe. It's helping me to get to the 1,000 subs I need. If you'd like a reading with me, I'm a psychic. I do tarot. I have all kinds of great readings. And yeah, they are. And they are really to support your evolution, which is what I'm, in transformation and nurturing all that, which is really kind of what I'm here to do, right? To help people see the beauty, that the chart has given them. Yeah, really. Thank you so much.